This happened about 2 years ago, and it's not a long story, but it still makes my skin crawl every time I think about it. I was 15, and me and this kid from my school named Marcus had just started snapping each other. We weren't super close or anything, but we had a few classes together, and he was a pretty chill guy, so we would send each other random stuff throughout the day, like most people do. One night, I was laying on the couch doing nothing, really just going back and forth between Instagram and Snapchat when Marcus sent me a snap. It was just a regular selfie of him sitting at his desk with his headphones around his neck, and the caption said, "Bored AF." I sent one back of me on the couch and said same. We went back and forth like that for a while, just sending random faces and stupid captions. Then he sent another one, and this time he was turned a little to the side like he was looking at something off camera. I didn't think anything of it really, but behind him through his bedroom door, which was slightly open, I could see the hallway. And standing in the hallway was a figure. At first I thought it was his mom or his older sister or someone in his family. It was dark in the hallway, so you could barely make it out, but it was clearly a person just standing there. I sent a message saying, "Who's that behind you?" He sent back a snap of himself with a confused face captioned, "What do you mean?" In this one, his door was open a little wider than before, and the person in the hallway was closer. I could see now it wasn't just a shadow or my eyes playing tricks. It was someone standing completely still facing his room. I typed back fast, "There's someone in your hallway, bro, look behind you." He opened it right away and then nothing. No response, no snap. I waited like 2 minutes and it felt like 20. I sent another message saying, "Marcus, you good?" It showed delivered, but he didn't open it. I started to get this tight feeling in my chest, like something was really wrong. I tried calling him and it rang and went to voicemail. I called again, same thing. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have his parents' number and I didn't know any of his neighbors. I just sat there on my couch staring at my phone, feeling completely helpless. About 15 minutes later, he finally called me back. His voice sounded shaky and kind of quiet, like he was trying not to talk too loud. He told me that when he turned around, his door was wide open and no one was there. He walked out into the hallway and everything seemed normal, so he went downstairs to check. His parents were asleep in their room, and his sister was in her room with the door closed. He said every door and window downstairs was locked except the backsliding door, which was open about 6 inches. He told his dad and they searched the whole house and the backyard but didn't find anyone. His dad said maybe the door just didn't latch properly and the wind pushed it open. But Marcus didn't buy that, and honestly neither did I, because I saw what I saw. That wasn't a shadow and it wasn't the wind. It was a person standing still in that hallway staring right at his door. The next day at school, he showed me the snaps he saved from that night. I zoomed in on the hallway in both of them, and you could clearly see the outline of someone. In the second picture, where the door was more open, you could almost make out a face. It looked like a man, but the hallway was too dark to see any detail. They never found out who it was. Marcus and his family got a security system installed the next week, and nothing ever happened again. But what gets me is the fact that whoever was standing there had to have known Marcus was in his room. His light was on and his door was cracked open. They were standing right there watching him, and he had no idea. The only reason he even found out was because I happened to see the hallway in the background of a stupid Snapchat selfie. I still think about what would have happened if I hadn't noticed or if I didn't say anything. That person was getting closer in each picture. The door was opening wider each time. They were moving toward him, and he was just sitting at his desk with his headphones on, completely unaware. That messes with me to this day. I used to be one of those people who added basically anyone on Snapchat. If someone added me, I added them back. I never really thought twice about it. This was back in the fall of 2016. I was 16 and living with my mom in a pretty quiet neighborhood outside of Austin. Nothing ever happened there, and that's kind of important to the story. One evening I was scrolling through my Snapchat when I noticed I had a new friend request from someone I didn't recognize. The username was something random, just a string of letters and a few numbers. No Bitmoji, no score worth mentioning. I added them back without thinking. Like I said, I did that with everyone. Within a few minutes, they sent me a snap. I opened it, and it was just a picture of a ceiling. Plain white ceiling, some kind of dim lighting, no caption. I thought maybe it was a mistake or someone messing around, so I didn't respond. A couple minutes later, another one came in. Same ceiling, slightly different angle. Then another, then another. 4 snaps of the same ceiling within about 10 minutes. I finally replied with a snap of myself making a confused face, and I typed "wrong person" as the caption. They opened it immediately. I saw the little square turn from delivered to opened almost the second I sent it, but no response. That was weird, but I shrugged it off. People are strange on the internet. I put my phone on the charger and went to bed. The next morning, I had 7 unopened snaps from the same account. I opened the first one, and it was a photo of a street. I didn't recognize it at first. The second one was closer a sidewalk. The third was a photo of a row of houses, taken from what looked like across the street. The fourth one made my stomach drop. It was my house. Not a house that looked like mine. My house. My mom's silver Camry was in the driveway. Our porch light was on the one with the cracked cover we never replaced. I could even see the garden gnome my mom put by the front steps as a joke. I sat up in bed and stared at the screen. The photo was taken at night, and the timestamp said it was sent at 2:47 a.m. I screenshot it. They would have gotten the notification, but I didn't care. I immediately went to the next 3 snaps, and each one was taken closer to the house. The last one was taken from what had to be our front yard, pointed directly at my bedroom window. My light was off, and you could barely see the curtain. The 7th snap was a black screen with white text. It said, "You look peaceful when you sleep." I felt like the air had been sucked out of my lungs. I remember my hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold my phone. I ran to my mom's room and woke her up, and I showed her everything. She called the police right away. When the officers arrived, they looked around outside. There were footprints in the mulch beneath my bedroom window. Actual footprints. Someone had stood there long enough to leave impressions. One of the officers told my mom the window screen had been slightly pulled away from the frame at the bottom corner, like someone had tried to pry it but stopped. They asked me about the account, and I showed them the username. They took note of it and told us they'd look into it, but that Snapchat cases were difficult because of how the app worked. Everything disappears. I had the screenshot, but that was it. We changed the locks that day, even though there was no sign anyone had gotten inside. My mom bought a camera for the front porch and another one for the backyard. I deleted the person from Snapchat and set my account to private. For about a week, nothing happened, and I started to calm down slightly. I figured whoever it was had gotten bored or scared off by the police visit. Then I got a text from an unknown number. It said, "Why did you remove me?" I didn't respond. My heart was in my throat. I blocked the number. 20 minutes later, a different number texted me, same message, same exact phrasing. "Why did you remove me?" I blocked that one too. Then a third number, then a fourth, all within the span of an hour. Every single one said the same thing. I turned my phone off completely. I told my mom, and she called the police again. They said they'd try to trace the numbers but couldn't promise anything. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat in my bed with the lights on, staring at my window. The new porch camera was set up, and my mom had the feed pulled up on her laptop in the living room. She stayed up too. Around 1 a.m., she came into my room quietly. She didn't say anything at first. She just looked at me with this expression I had never seen on her face before. Then she told me to come look at the laptop on the porch camera footage. There was a man standing on the sidewalk across the street from our house. Just standing there. He was facing our house. He wasn't moving. He had a phone in his hand, and every few seconds you could see the screen light up his face. My mom called 911. We watched him on the camera the entire time we waited. He didn't move, not once. He just stood there staring at our house, occasionally looking down at his phone. The police arrived within 8 minutes, but by the time they turned onto our street, he was gone. They searched the area and found nothing. We moved in with my grandma 2 towns over the following weekend. My mom didn't even wait to sell the house. She just packed up what we needed and left. About a month later, the police contacted us. They had traced the Snapchat account and the phone numbers to a man living 3 streets away from our old house. He was 34 years old, and he had been arrested before for stalking a woman in a neighboring county. When they searched his phone, they found over 40 photos of our house, taken over a span of 3 weeks, some from angles that meant he had been in our backyard. There were photos of me walking to my car, photos of me checking the mail photos through windows. He had been watching me for weeks before he ever sent that first snap. I deleted Snapchat that day and I haven't re-downloaded it since. I still think about the fact that he was standing outside my window at 2:47 in the morning while I slept close enough to see my face through the glass, and I had absolutely no idea. If he hadn't sent those snaps, I might never have known he was there at all. That's the part that still keeps me up at night.